A mile of mud stands between glory and heartache as 1,000 horsepower swamp buggies glide, splash, and slog through a man-made swamp at speeds upwards of 80 miles per hour. Who can traverse the sippy hole and the competition?
Got it tacked up, and if you get too close, you're getting cracked up. Stone cold when I roll, coming out of the hole. Get back, cause I'm out of control.
Welcome to Naples, Florida. It's the home of the Swamp Buggy Races, and this sport is rich in history. Welcome to Lucas Oil on the Edge Swamp Buggy Races, presented by General Tire. I'm Ken Stout and Rod Klepper sitting right alongside, and it's a pleasure to be down here. So much fun to cover this form of racing. It's been going on since the 30s and officially since '49. Chris Graham?
All right, guys. The Bud Cup started in 1949 on an unused part of Raymond Bennett's Sweet Potato Ranch before moving to the original Mile of Mud, and now its current home here at the Florida Sports Park. Those original tracks had a consistency likened to butterscotch pudding. Now there's about 18 inches of water over top of that pudding, and that's what gives us the visual spectacle we're going to see here today.
Yeah, it's been going on for a long time, man, and it's a big deal. There's real heroes that have been out here for many, many years as we take a look at the Bad Company, and let's roll. We're going to kick things off here with the big boy class. This is the Pro Mods. Yeah, you can see they make some big steam, 485 cubic inches, normally aspirated, but listen to them sing.
Sippy hole, not a problem for the Pro Mod category, is get to the inside lane. That's what you want to do. A whole shot right to the inside part. Put the driver you're running against in your own roost and cruise on from there.
Bad Company driven by Brian Langford. Almost like that hole's not even there the way they sail through it. Yes, that right-hander is tight. They can't get in trouble here. A lot of suspension. Take a look at the front end geometry on that thing. Look at the damper technology. Everything doing what it needs to do as he slices through the water at speed. Big stuff.
With Brian Langford, pilot of the Rubber Duck. Doesn't say Rubber Duck on it, though. You got the Red Bull colors on this thing. You had an absolute superstar driving this car about a year ago.
Yeah, we were approached by the Red Bull promotional team, and they had asked us if they wanted one of their drivers to drive the buggy, and we didn't know who. And towards the end of making this whole deal work out, they informed us that it was Max Verstappen, and of course we said, yeah, absolutely. Didn't believe it until he actually showed up. So it was a once in a lifetime experience, and we enjoyed it very much.
Now we move forward 12 months, and you're right in the hunt for the points battle. First time you're going to run 4 races. It's only been a couple of weeks since you ran this thing last. A lot of pressure and a quick turnaround time tonight. Yeah,
we prep these very well. We're prepared well. We got a great team around us, and real confident. We come ready to go. Feel pretty good about it. We made up some minor adjustments and got a little faster, which is what we're going to need. It's a lot of competition, and it takes a lot to win one of these things, so feel pretty good.
All right, bud. Thank you. Good luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much. Glad to see you.
And for those of you not familiar with Max Verstappen, some would argue the best driver of all time, certainly dominating in Formula One as we speak here today, having a great season in 2023. And that Red Bull machine certainly off to a good start here. That one's making plenty of steam.
Yeah, whole shot crucial in the Pro Mod category. The 50 Rubber Duck of Brian Langford, former champ, getting it done inside lane, taking the shortest way around, throwing up that roost. He's going to cruise on to victory here.
Of course, he was also the driver of the Bad Company machine, so that begs the question, if they both continue on, who's going to drive the other one as the Midnight Special and the Outlaw line up here? Rodney Badger and Eddie Chesser.
11-time world champ Eddie Chesser, the Chesser family synonymous with Swamp Buggy Racing here in Collier County. And the 58 making a move early right around the outside, taking the longer way around, puts it up on 2. Hold on, Eddie Chesser.
Yeah, they turn in here. Look, oh man, both tires. We see the right front will come up in the air many times, but he got up on the bicycle there, had to turn left, set it back down, get it stabilized, and get back in the throttle.
Chesser family been racing swamp buggies here since the 50s, and he gets it done, and we'll move on.
The Pro Mods are out here making some big noise, and we're not done with them. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Lucas Oil on the Edge is brought to you by Lucas Oil Products. Keep that engine alive. And by General Tire. For whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Here with Tyler Johns, and you've already won one King of the Mud crown. Looking to pick up a second one here tonight. What are your thoughts as we get ready to roll?
Yeah, we've been working hard at it. We're going to try to take number 2 for the season. Hopefully we keep it together. I think we'll give them a hard time out there.
With the weather turning a little bit cooler as the sun goes down, does that change how you prep these things at all? Do you make any changes, or you kind of got what you got?
We kind of got what we got. Even with the weather changes here, it doesn't affect us that much.
All right, well, good luck tonight. 3 runs, taking home another King of the Mud possibly.
We're going to try to.
Great to see Tyler Johns out here. As you can see, one arm there, but he is extremely competitive, very good at what he does. Brian Langford right alongside here once again.
Tyler Johns, a 2021 world champion. On that inside line, looked like Langford had a bit of an advantage, but can he hold the longer way around?
Good battle here. Langford trying to go around the outside, and he is right there on pace. Wow, big moment right there for Tyler Johns. Had to check up just a little bit to settle that thing down. That, of course, opens up the door for Langford to run that outside lane. The inside a little bit short of the outside lane. You can carry the momentum, but however, Tyler Johns not going away.
Yeah, Johns carrying so much speed into that corner. Once he turned that thing right, and it bit, it got up on the bike, and that allowed Langford to remain on the outside. It's a drag race to the finish.
Those guys looking right at each other. They are wheel to wheel again. Johns up on 2 wheels. Man, what a battle to the finish. I don't even know who won it, to be quite honest with you. Replay here. As you take a look, that is Langford in the rubber duck, the Red Bull back machine, and I mean, could not be any closer than that. From that view, it looks to me like Tyler Johns. Langford gets around him the right at the very end. What a battle. Excellent stuff.
Yeah, and Woe down in a hurry, carrying all that speed into the final corner as we move on. Here's Glenn Chesser and Shredder and Stefan Mogul with Family Time.
So Stefan Mogul and the Red Buggy off to a great start right here. The Chesser family out here, by the way, in force. A number of competitors and drivers. Unfortunately, looks like Glenn Chesser is going to struggle here with the Shredder at the start of this one.
Stefan Mogul out in front in Family Time. Going a little wide right there. Knows he's sitting pretty. Just going to try and make a nice smooth run. Wrap this one up and move on. You can really see those skis doing what they do there on the front end of that rig.
Amazing how those things squat over and finally take a set, pick up that inside as we take a look at Chesser. Unfortunately not able to keep pace here in this particular round. Big speed, we talked about 80 miles an hour. There's a good look at it right there. No doubt carrying max speed. Yeah, runs a little bit wider here without any pressure there on the outside and can carry a little more momentum through those turns without making it too dangerous.
Pro mods can be 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. You see those big 74-inch tires on the rear, front tires any size you want.
Bad company with Brian Langford back here one more time, lined up on the outside, and then the roll on, driven by Dan Greenlee Sr.
Greenlee, a 5-time world champion, number 47.97. Where does that come from? The fastest lap ever turned here at the Mile of Mud.
And keeping pace right there with Langford. Langford leans down just a little bit. Again, under the lights. This is the only race of the year where they do it at nighttime, so all of the lights on the buggies look cool as well. And Greenlee coming right back at him, showing he's got plenty of muscle and that short route around the inside lane. Yeah,
he really approaches that aggressively on that right-hander, drives that thing in there and straight in the last second, makes a hard right-hander, and it looks like, oh, now maybe trouble for Greenlee.
He checked up. He's lost speed. Something happened there. Clearly, the engine losing power is going to open up the door for Langford to drive around the outside, and he clearly had Langford covered up.
That is big news right there as Langford knocks off one of the best in Dan Greenlee Sr. and Bad Company moving on. You can tell he is pumped.
Yeah, of course, he did squeak in with the rubber duck in that other battle that we saw side by side, so now both of his vehicles moving on. I love that head-on shot there of the Bad Company machine. What a gorgeous buggy. But let's go back and see what happens here. Greenling, unfortunately, as you talked about there, something probably getting wet in the vehicle, just loses all power, and Langford drives right around the outside. David Brewer and Eddie Chesser coming up here next. The Outlaw for Eddie Chesser, backdraft driven by Brewer.
On board with Chesser and the Outlaw, right of your screen. Live racing on the left. Still side by side through the sippy hole. Who will have the advantage here in turn number 1?
And it looks like Eddie Chesser struggling there on the outside lane. Brewer in the throttle, still driving away. You can see on the onboard there, bottom right-hand side of your screen from Eddie Chesser, as Brewer still kicking up a heck of a roost.
Chesser, he was good off the start. Once he got through the sippy hole, it's almost like he lost power for a second. And now a massive lead for Brewer. As you can see, still on board with Chesser, still has power.
Yeah, Chesser picking the pace back up now, and as we saw in that last race, you got to stay in the throttle. You never know what your competitor's going to do, or if they might have a problem.
Really cool to see what Eddie Chesser sees, trying to stay out of that roost, but at some point you have to get back in it.
And Chesser actually coming back to a degree. Look at Chesser out there. Just struggled there on the start with whatever happened, and it's going to cost him this race, unfortunately. So a big upset for Dave Brewer. Let's check in with Chris, who's with him.
With Dave Brewer, driver of Backdraft, just coming off the racetrack after a huge win over one of the best to ever do this in Eddie Chesser.
Well, Eddie's a real good friend. He's helped me out a lot with this buggy. I hate to take him out because he's in the points, but I just had to run my lap, and it ain't even running that good. We got issues right now I got to jump on, but I'm sorry for Eddie. Love you, brother, but I'm going to go in and try to take the next guy out. That's all I can do.
At this point now, you almost feel like you're playing with house money a little bit, and you get to go for broke.
Yeah, I can go for broke. I'm out of the points race. All I'm going after is the money for the whole show. So,
congratulations, great win.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
When the helmets go on and the engines start up, the friendships end just about then. You got to go for the win. Stay with us. We're not done. 20 more racing action to go. Welcome back to Naples, Florida for the Swamp Buggy Races. You're watching Lucas Oil on the Edge, and this show is brought to you by General Tire. We're covering the Pro Modified category. It's the big boys and girls out here playing hard in the big-time class. Family Time, Stefan Mogul, and the Rubber Duck, Brian Langford, undefeated with both entries so far.
Or left of your screen, you can see them wave that green flag. They are looking to their right to watch that green flag drop, and here we go. On board with Brian Langford and Rubber Duck.
Love to hear both those engines on that starting line up there on the rev limiter, just cackling, and Langford with a big charge there through the right-hander, but he's coming right back. Here comes Mogul. Mogul making a race of it. Langford clearly with some horsepower here.
And you can see Langford looking right, trying to size him up. Got to watch out. Don't want to get up on the bike. Water gets rough here on this big right-hander.
Oh, and being very respectful. You can see that bump there. He is allowing that inside lane. He knows he's still there. You can be penalized if you chomp down on him, but Langford doing what he needs to do to allow his competition room to race.
Momentum working right now for Langford on that outside, and it looks like he's going to hold off Mogul.
He has been in some battles here tonight, no question about it. That's why the fans come to see, and now has complete control of this one as Stefan Mogul has checked up just a little bit, and Langford will bring it across the stripe first. Let's move on to the next pair, Bad Company and Backdraft. Brewer and Langford again. Langford right back behind the wheel, both entries doing an incredible job here tonight. Brewer trying to stop him.
It looks like Langford getting a little bit better start. He's got the line, preferred line if you will, as Brewer going to try and make that outside part of the racetrack work, and it doesn't look like it will. They're still side by side, but Langford with a little bit of an advantage, and now trouble for Brewer. Looks like big issues on that right rear.
Right back in the throttle though, absolutely fearless once you're in the mode. Of course, we talked about him getting that big win just a moment ago, beating one of the best out here. Langford again, complete control. That buggy absolutely gorgeous. You can see the technology in the front of it, keeping those tires planted good head-on shot here. Look at those upper shock mounts. Damper technology just as important in this form of racing as any other form of motorsports. Good stuff. Langford continues on his charge here tonight. What an incredible run with both cars out of that camp. Let's check in with Chris.
Here with Kenny Langford, and quite frankly, you've got work to do now.
Yes.
You were here in a spectator's role. Your brother Brian has put 2 in the finals. You now got to get behind the wheel.
Yes, sir. I'll do the best I can. Today's April Fool's, so he's got his work cut out for him for sure.
Yeah, no fooling. You got some work to do. Now you get to play for the good stuff, though, here. You don't got to do all the hard work beforehand.
Yes, sir. I'm just proud of Brian. He's put so many good buggies together, and an all-Langford feature 2 times this season. That's pretty impressive. He deserves it.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Here with Brian Langford. We talked earlier today. Everything you had to do, you got done. You got a little bit of help from Backdraft in this one, but congratulations, you're a Bud Cup champ.
Thank you very much. We put a lot of effort into this, and to come out here a champion like this and beat some of the best, beat them from the outside. We earned it. It's been a great year, and we're back to back.
Now you get to do the fun part, though. You got one more race to win. You got to go to the big feature, and then you're going and getting wet.
Yes, sir. Well, I got to race my brother in my own buggy, so we'll see what happens. But you know, we'll give it. We'll put a show on for him and see what happens. But yeah, we look forward to hopefully we can dunk the queen and raise the cup.
Dunk the queen and raise the cup. That is the goal. And of course, that answers a question that we started off with at the very beginning. Who was going to drive the second car if they both got in? It's coming up next. Lucas Oil on the Edge is brought to you by General Tire. For whatever you do, General Tire delivers. And by Lucas Oil Products. Keep that engine alive. All right, time for the little feature. 4-cylinder Jeeps and air-cooled. Little feature here. Winner of this will go to the intermediate feature. The Cold Duck, Screaming Demon, and Kryptonite all lined up here.
Kryptonite getting a bit of a jump off the start line, but when he hits that sippy hole, it could be all done for him.
Yeah, tough to get that Jeep through there. Of course, that is Marcus Birkenmeyer behind the wheel of the Kryptonite Jeep. But our early leaders, you watch Buddy Thornton with the Cold Duck, actually had 2 entries in the field, but it was a Cold Duck that made it to the little feature here. And then we don't want to forget Josh Van Wagner behind the wheel of the Screaming Demon. That is the air-cooled machine that is red in color.
4-cylinder engines here in the 4-cylinder class clearly can't exceed 250 cubic inches, 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. But Thornton getting it done. Beautiful Cold Duck. I like the blue lights.
And there's the Screaming Demon, and it is absolutely screaming.
Yeah, the air-cooled class, either motorcycle or Volkswagen engines, and yeah, they twist them pretty hard, but just not going to be enough.
When he comes back and says, I never lifted, everybody can verify.
Yes.
No, you did not. Skid plates down there, you can see, do their job when he hits the sippy hole and keeps the front end afloat. It sounds great, nice and smooth. Also has that right foot planted the entire time. Buddy Thornton will be the winner here, the little feature, and thus will advance into the intermediate feature, where he will join Lady Liberty and Lori Johns. Absolutely no joke. Of course, only 2 in this particular feature here. There was to be 3, but the 6-cylinder buggy did not make the call.
Lori Johns, the 2016 Swamp Buggy World Champion, out to the early lead in Lady Liberty, dusting the 4-cylinder.
Yeah, and that's just the way it goes. You start off with a little feature, work your way up to the intermediate feature as they race all the classes together, and you want to make your way to the big feature to take on the Pro Mods, but the goal is you have a shot, even if you're in a Jeep, to win the overall. You just never know.
So you can see Lori Johns all alone out in front.
And stranger things have happened than a buggy braking mid-race, right? So that 4-cylinder does have a chance to win, but going up against Lori Johns, she is as tough as they come. As you talked about, a former champion out here. This buggy has performed flawlessly all day and all night long, and looks like it's going to do so here one more time. She'll be able to make her way to the big feature.
Yeah, good solid day, good solid effort right there for Lori Johns. She'll get the win, like you said, move on to the big feature against the Pro Mod. And this is what it comes down to. Bad company with Langford behind the wheel. The brother, Lori Johns and Lady Liberty in the V8 Sportsman. And of course, Brian Langford in the Rubber Duck.
Checking with all the drivers here, looking for the green flag. There it is. We are off. Big feature here, and Lori Johns doesn't even leave the starting line.
So it looks like it's going to come down to the brothers. Brian Langford working the outside in Rubber Duck.
Yeah, and of course, that's the Red Bull sponsored machine there. It has been on fire all day long. Both of them absolutely gorgeous. The Bad Company machine being driven by his brother. Wasn't sure if he was going to be put to work here tonight or not, but with both entries making it to the big feature, somebody's got to drive it.
Hey, you always bring your helmet bag when you come to the racetrack.
Exactly
you just
right.
never know what's going to happen. And there it is. He's waving at everybody here on his lap.
Man, that thing is ripping.
Look at him.
What a great night. Whenever you bring two of them and they both go to the final, you stand 1-2 on the box. That is what it's all about. You dunk the queen, you hold the trophy up, and it's a good day in Naples. Brian Langford, your Bud Cup champ, getting it done. One more look at it here, and look at that roost.
Big roost, left hand up in the air, saluting the crowd, saying, thanks for coming out. I just won the Bud Cup here in Naples, Florida. Let's get down to Chris, who is with our winner, Brian Langford.
With Brian Langford, and man, I'll tell you what, your brother put up a heck of a fight here, but there was no stopping this thing tonight.
Yeah, I told him, I said, try to beat me. Go for it, just do whatever it takes. And just wanted to put on a show. We did this about 2 races ago, and to do it again and to win the race, win the Bud Cup all in one it don't get no better than that. So we did it.
So much fun, and yeah, the queen's about to get dunked here. This is all part of the fun. And she tricked him. Great stuff. Good job, girl. Hope you enjoyed all the great racing action. For Chris Graham and Rob Klepper, I'm Ken Stout. Remember, you're not living unless you're on the edge.